Welcome to this week's Ask Charlie. This week I thought I would sit down at my desk and chat to you. I had a really lovely email from Joanna who asked me how I manage my time. So I thought this week we could talk about it. It's quite windy outside today and I hope you can't hear too much wind rattling behind me. It's a bit breezy out there. But anyway, how I manage my time. Such a good question. I have learned over the years to plan ahead as much as possible. I've always been a planner. I've always been a list writer. And I love these notebooks. I've got my notes written here for today's vlog. These ones, I buy them online. My Notes, Oxford, things to do today. And I don't know why, I just like the size of it. I like it. I've been using these actually for years. And I pretty much have a page each day. When I'm planning things, this is where I write it. And I just find it really helpful to have everything in one place. I will write my recipes down in here. I will write ideas down in here. This is sort of my have to come everywhere with me. I also keep a paper diary. And Simon and I sit down every Sunday and we go through our diaries and it's non-negotiable. We do it every single week and I just find it really helpful so we both know exactly where we are, and I like to have it physically written down. I do use a diary in my phone if I'm out and about and I need to remind myself, and I'll set an alert or I'll set a timer or something to remind me, but it always goes in here. These are my diaries, and actually this is the new one for 2025, so I'm going to share that with you. I obviously designed and created these. A lot of planning went into creating my diary because I wanted it to really work for me. So January, you have general, personal and birthdays that you can write in there for each month. There's jobs to do in the garden, and then there's seasonal produce because I'm passionate about seasonal food and eating seasonally. And then there's a monthly budget planner, notes and a recipe each month for you. So there's 12 recipes, and then you have got a day per week and priorities there. And then we have also got, it will go over into the next month. So you can start that and then you can go over into February. And then at the back of the diary, I have got 2026 for you. There's also key dates marked in the diaries. And then there's lots of pages for notes because I use this section quite a lot for important things that I need to remember. So that is my basic standard diary. I don't have the physical version of the planner one here, but I'm going to show you a very old beaten up one. This is last year's. We've also laminated the front so they last better because this one's got a little bit marked. As you can see, it's been really well loved. I also keep my diaries year on year. I'm going to find an empty page for you. This is my timesheet that I designed a number of years ago, gosh, probably about 4 or 5 years ago now. And this is what I use as well to plan out my day and time block things. I work on time blocking. So from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m, we shouldn't be doing anything before or after that, unless it's just, things that you want to do. And then tomorrow's focus, and then notes, and then things for next week. Things that you're grateful for. I think it's always important. I'm always talking about doing things with a gracious heart. If we put a smile on our face and a good attitude, it's going to make whatever miserable job so much better. And you can fake how you feel till you actually do, if that makes sense. And I remember somebody said to me, it was, sort of 8 years ago, when Mum died, they said, cheer up, love, might never happen. And I thought, oh gosh, if only you knew. And I was walking around, understandably, my mother had just died, with, a pretty unfriendly, unapproachable, unhappy face, because that was how I was feeling. And then When I started doing my workouts with Lee Linton, Lee had a whole chapter on smiling. And she was like, if you smile, it relaxes your face. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel happy. It sends out good endorphins to your brain, and it just helps your mindset, helps how you feel. So ever since then, that man saying to me, cheer up, love, and Lee talking about smiling, I've really made a conscious effort to smile, to be friendly, to be approachable. And it really changes how you feel. And if you do things with a gracious heart, with a smile on your face, it makes the most hideous job better, if that makes sense. And there are things that we don't want to do, but actually as grown-ups, we've got to do them. And we just have to get on with it. So, that's how I go about doing things. And I will write them on my list. I plan out, so I'll sit down on a Sunday evening with Si, and we will go through everything that has to be done. But then I will take some time for me alone to plan out what I have to achieve that week. So whether it's a certain amount of recipes that I need to film, whether it's a project that I'm working on, I will write it down and I will plan it out. And then each evening before I go to bed, I will think, right, tomorrow, what have I got to achieve? And I've done this for a number of years. Right, tomorrow, X, Y, and Z needs to be done. Those are non-negotiables. They have to happen. And then other things, if I can fit in other things as well, then that's an added bonus. But as long as I get that done, so it might be filming a recipe, it might be, mucking out the horses, it might be cleaning a room. And set realistic goals for yourself, achievable goals. So then anything extra feels like you've done well, that you're on top of things. If you set unrealistic goals, like 5 big tasks that you have to achieve in a day and you only get 3 done, you're going to feel like you've failed. So that's not a good feeling, is it? No one wants to feel like they failed. So do bite-sized amounts. And that's why I love time blocking. So you can plan the day before. I always like to plan, I'll plan on my Sunday the week ahead, and Simon and I will then go on to the month ahead, 6 months ahead, if there are things that need to be put in the diary and we need to focus on. So we'll plan ahead, way ahead. But then hang on, I've lost my train of thought for a moment. Time blocking. I will plan, right, from 8 till 10 a.m. I'm going to sit at my desk and I'm going to reply to emails. I'm going to work on that document. I'm going to do whatever it is that needs to be done in that time frame. And then I'll be like, right, an hour, I'm going to go and walk the dogs. I'm going to go and clear my head. I might go and do some mucking out. And then I will come back, I will have lunch, and then I might clean for an hour. And I will write it down. And that way, you know where you are. You can tick things off. I love ticking things off on a list or crossing it off. It's really satisfying when it's done. You might want to work on your phone. So there are loads of apps. I haven't found one that I love, to be honest, but I do use the notes section on my phone quite a lot, particularly if, say, I have a photo shoot with Sophie. I will write a list of all the things that we need to do on notes, and that way I don't have to carry my notebook with me, because I might have it like my phone in my back pocket while we're out taking pictures, and I can just put a green tick by we've done that. And then at the end of the photo shoot, I'll look through the list and be like, yeah, we've got it all done, and it's stored on my notes section. I'm trying to teach Simon about using notes. He emails himself things as a reminder and then can't find the email. I'm like, put it in notes, it works really well. And also setting reminders on your phone. I'm talking about Apple phones. I don't know about other phones, but I find those work really well. But I don't use any planning apps. I know that there are some good ones, but I personally am a really old-fashioned girl. Give me a diary, give me a notebook. I find that I haven't got enough space in here to do my work notes. So that will be like personal notes, birthdays, reminders, things like that, financial planning each month. And then this is, and I have one on the go at a time. When it's finished, when I've got to the back page, or when I'm getting to the end, I use another one. And then I actually keep these for 6 months or a year before I get rid of them, because I will refer back to them. There'll be things in there. You know, when we were moving here, I wrote endless lists, endless planning, just to keep organised and not drop the balls, because when you're juggling a lot of balls, it's easy to drop them. And this can come up to bed with me, and if I wake up in the night, rather than looking at my phone and getting stimulated, I can just jot something down in here, and I'll know in the morning what it was that was on my mind that needs doing. And I think when we are busy, like on the whole, you guys are probably juggling work, family life, lots going on. And it's easy to drop the balls, whereas actually physically writing it down rather than keeping it in here, you're more likely, and it's proven, you're more likely to remember it. I think because I'm very, very dyslexic, I've had to learn coping mechanisms of how to work and how to plan ahead. And I know if I'm focused on something else and somebody says to me something that's important, I might not necessarily hear it. I have to stop what I'm doing, focus on that, retain it, write it either in my phone calendar if I haven't got my diary immediately to hand, although it does pretty much come everywhere with me, or write it down in a notebook, and then I will retain it. Sometimes Simon will say to me, darling, I did tell you that. And I was like, yes, but I probably had a million things going on in my head at the moment, and you caught me at a bad moment when I was in the middle of something. You need to have my full attention for me to retain that information or whatever it is. So that is how I work. I do love to plan ahead. I do love to block out time. Every evening I go to bed knowing what I have to achieve the following day and the days ahead as well. It's good to work, and on a Sunday I will plan, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I need to get that done. Thursday, we're going somewhere. Friday is a day of admin and laundry and sorting at home, ready for the weekend, and I need to fit a food shop in here. And I will write that down. I'll write when I'm going to do a food shop and, schedule in all of those things. And, sometimes as well, since we've moved, I'm tired. So I have been like, right, actually, I'm going to take an hour, whether it's to sit down and read a book, flick through a magazine, potter with a cup of tea and sit in the garden and just decompress for a mo, or even go and have 45-minute power nap, which I actually, this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, I took myself up to bed after lunch, 45 minutes, and just lay on my bed and relaxed. And sometimes, we have to, we've got to be kind to ourselves. We can't keep going at 100 miles an hour without burning out, and that's something I've been really mindful of. I've never properly burnt out, but I've been on the cusp of it a few times, and I think it is so important that we look after ourselves and we plan a little bit of rest time in there as well. It's important. So that is how I manage things. I really hope that you have found that helpful. I love it when you get in touch and ask me your questions, and I can share how I run things and how I juggle things and things like that. And it is important. I am lucky. Simon and I have got into a really good groove where we work together as a team, and he has taken on a lot of stuff that I did pre-Ask Charlie. So he will do children's admin, and I'm not very good at filling out forms. In fact, I'm terrible at it. So where possible, he will do that for me and help. And so we've learned how to work together as a team. And I've sat down and I've said, look, I really struggle with this, but you're great at it. But you're not so good at that, so I'll do that. And we've worked out. But it's been 18, 19 years. We've got to this system of working well together. So that is hugely helpful. But do keep your questions coming. I love them. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on Friday with a new vlog. In the meantime, have a super week, and if you're new to my channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button. The more the merrier, and I'd be so grateful. So thank you very much, and see you soon.